Empty nest syndrome is the feeling of sadness and loneliness that parents feel. Denise and I were just talking about it when their children leave home. It's natural and healthy, of course, for kids to start their own lives, but it can leave mom and dad feeling blue. The Mayo Clinic says it is not a clinical problem, but it is real. And I'd say just ask any parent who's ever said goodbye.
Absolutely. So how can we cope? And are there some positive things that happen when birdies fly the coop? Well, Dr. John Duffy is a clinical psychologist, national speaker, author, and expert on parenting, teens, and relationships, and he has all the answers for us. Help.
Yeah. She has this picture, which we don't have prepped, but it's hilarious. It's her son who went to Madison in his dorm room, I think, and she's on the ground with her arms around his legs saying, please don't go.
Don't go.
Don't go.
Yeah.
Please stay with me.
Exactly.
Yes. Right.
Yeah.
And I think the reason we want that so badly, and I felt that myself if I'm being honest, is we're used to these roles and we really like these people. We want to keep them close to home.
Yeah.
And we don't really love this idea of this dramatic change that is about to take place. And you can prepare for 18 years for this to happen. You're never ready for this to happen. This always feels bizarre, and you just can't believe, wow, he or she is really we're really moving them into this new place, and they may not be back. Or it's certainly when they come back, it's going to be different. So these changes are so hard to adapt to.
Right,
Yeah.
it is different. I mean, that room is empty the next morning when you drop them off.
Yeah.
It's empty, and that is sad. So they're saying it's not a clinical condition, but it is real.
Right.
Parents are feeling this.
Yeah.
Are there some benefits, though?
Oh, for sure.
Empty nest syndrome, what are they?
Yeah, so as parents, once we can kind of integrate the fact that this has actually happened, we can start to think about, okay, so what does this mean for our lives now? So maybe there's something we've been putting off, a vocation, taking care of ourselves, our body, our relationships, right? There's an awful lot we can attend to that we've put off probably for decades. The more parents I work with who are new empty nesters, after a little while they find like, well, I've kind of neglected big parts and swaths of my life that I can now attend to. So there are a lot of positives. There are also, there's the element of, well, we're not going to be fighting like we were teenager to parents, so that's good. So there's some things we can feel really grateful for and even excited about. A lot of parents feel bad about that, like, oh, I don't want my child to be gone, but sometimes it's easier. And then there's that little victory of like, wow, they're grown and flown. I've kind of done most of my job here.
Grown and flown. I like that.
House stays cleaner, too.
Yeah.
Right,
One
right,
big thing,
exactly.
a big thing I noticed.
Yeah, I think there is that sense of having a true purpose when you have kids at home. You're so busy.
Yeah.
And I think when they leave, you start to kind of question your sense of purpose. So I like what you said about finding a hobby, vocation, all those interests, because it does give us new purpose in a way, too. I like that. In terms of coping, because I heard people talk about it before my oldest left. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, I'll be sad, but it'll be okay. I was truly depressed for months.
Yep.
I was very, not just sad, like saying goodbye, but it lasted for quite a while.
Yeah, this tends to linger on average for about 3 to 4 months, give or take. If it lasts a lot longer than that, you might want to have a look at that because maybe the empty nest is showing you that you might be carrying some anxiety or some depression that is just revealed in this way.
Or you could go just move in with them.
Yeah.
You could always move in with
all
them,
the time.
right? These dorm rooms are a little bigger than they used to be.
Speaking of that, how often should you stay in touch?
Okay, so that my thoughts about that have changed over the years because I like the idea. I work with a lot of parents who will send a good morning text, good night text, I love you text here and there during the day. I don't mind that once in a while. Frequent phone calls, I think, are a problem. I like to do that max once a week or so because you want your child out there establishing some sense of independence. So you have to put their needs in front of yours sometimes.
Yeah, I think that's good. It was interesting. I read this article before you were here today. It was in American Psychological Association, and there's a psychologist from Purdue who asks her students how they think their parents are going to cope with the new empty nest. And every year the students express surprise about what her research says. But she said students always think their parents are doing worse now that they're gone. Yeah, and she said, of course, moving out is hard, but they just guess mom must be devastated, but that the research shows that that there are some benefits and it's not nearly as devastating to some people as kids think.
First of all, that mirrors my experience too.
Really?
And yes, and sometimes I think our 17 and 18-year-olds are coping on their own by saying that, because I hear all the time. In the last few weeks, I've heard, oh yeah, they're going to be miserable without me. I bring all the fun to the house. I bring nothing good's going to happen without me there, you know? I think part of that is like, I'm going to be welcome back come Thanksgiving or, you know, come Christmas. I think there's that kind of need in them to be still a part of the family and of the house. But I do find like parents get over this relatively quickly. You know,
Yeah,
it
quicker
only
than we
takes a
think.
couple of months, right?
And I just real quick, because we're running out of time, and this is a big topic, but a lot of the research shows a lot of people consider divorce and relationships sometimes end as they
Oh my
become
gosh.
empty nesters,
Yeah.
and that sense of purpose goes away and you're not
sad.
together raising kids.
Yeah.
Just real quick, I know it's a big subject, but your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so we all grieve in different ways. So I've worked with a lot of parents who have lost a child, and I know this is dramatically different than that. But oftentimes they divorce because they grieve in different ways and have these fundamental disagreements. What I encourage for parents who are sending a child off to college or whatever that next adventure is hang in for a while, and you might find that you have enough common ground to carry you through, and listen to each other, because you're probably going to grieve in different ways, and that's not the end of the world. That's okay.
Mm-hmm. That's a great
Good
point.
advice.
Thank you so much. This is a good
you.
topic, especially because you were here today,
know,
Denise. It worked
I know.
out great. Dr. Duffy has a new book we want to mention. It's out called Parenting the New Teen in the Age of Anxiety. Now, the book's doing really well. We're super excited to say it's actually the #1 new release on Amazon in several categories. Congratulations.
Thanks so
on
much.
that, by the way. Yeah, it's available for pre-order everywhere, including Amazon and his website. And it's drjohnduffy.com. And will also be published September 5th, and that's when you can get your hands on a copy. Great to see
The
you.
15th it'll
The
be
15th.
published.
What did I
15th,
say?
thank you.
Right.
September
The 5th.
15th. Oh, okay.
Order it on the 5th, that's fine.
All right, order it now.
September 15th. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it. And
Thank you.
congratulations on the success of your book.